think we're going to have some guest stars coming on in a little bit. Um, in the meantime, I am trying to organize the YouTube channel, which is way harder than I thought it should be. Um, we wrapped up the convention, so all of that's done. Now we are getting ready for some new material coming up, which I am quite excited for. Making sure all our live rights are in the right channel. Organization, not my strong suit. So, good news is I finished writing a novel. I finished writing a trilogy of novels. Oh man, this is such a pain in the butt. So now I'm actually going to be moving on to a new project. The question is, what will that project be? I have 3 series that are kind of in the potential, maybe, sort of, don't really know kind of situation where I need to get some feedback from my readers and find out what they are kind of starving for. And, I'll write anything. I'm very, very flexible with what projects I undertake, but, you always want to keep your readers in mind to some degree. So that is kind of where I'm at. I'm not quite ready to start editing. My editing process is very, very finicky. I'm not finicky, but I have a way that I really like doing my writing process. So one of the things that I need to do is I need to print up, because I don't edit on screen very well. And this makes my life a whole heck of a lot easier, being able to see it on page, and I can write notes. I can show you. I just saw this. So this is what that's what a story looks like after my first draft. I get pretty brutal, both with the I kind of do 2 edits in one. I do the big topics, the subplots. I write in where things can get squeezed in, but I also kind of do a line edit while I'm doing it. And it makes everything kind of work together. And then I'll do one more read through where I look at more like language based and less on the plot level. My novel overall, Trish is getting excited by our podcast just hit 300 downloads. So woot. Yes, Miranda, absolutely, 100%. I red pen that bad boy like it is an English project, because that's what I do for my students at the college level. It's what I do for everyone. The red pen kind of ends everything for me. So it's made things way easier. And I think when working on the computer, like, I can work faster with a writing utensil than I can on the computer. It's like looking into a physical book. You notice typos on a page of a written book far more than you do when it's on the screen. Some of those typos, they're in your head and they just get by. So I think doing it on paper changes the mindset a little bit. yeah, so that's kind of going on. So I'm gonna kind of hop into a writing project. Mm, don't quite know what it is at the moment. Um, but I have 43,000 words of um, my novel in the future, except I wrote it in first person, and it was it was kind of an experiment for writing in first person. So I think I'm going to go back and rewrite it in third person. I think I can do a lot more world building that way, and I think I can make my character a little more lovable. But I'm going to maintain my really close POV. So we're going to kind of we'll get a chance to see some of the villain side of things as well. But for the most part, it'll stay pretty close and not so omniscient like I'm used to writing. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. So let's do a sprint. We'll see if Franklin is going to come in with us shortly. We're going to set it for 12:15. 35. Um, talking to Trish right now about ads and audience sizes and the mechanics of admin stuff. I'm running some Facebook ads at the moment, and it's going really well. Um, so I'm preparing to do more ads shortly. I've been testing them out over the last 2 weeks and finding what's working, what's not working, and doing my testing. And so far, I'm turning a profit. So, you know, yay. But now I'm ready to not just turn like a little profit. I'm ready to make some money. So we'll see how that pans out. That's going to be either a success or a very costly failure. We'll find out soon. And it starts tonight at midnight. Yeah, I think let's work on the serial and rewrite this chapter. Let's see if we think it might be a viable making new icons for this. Let's make blue book. And I have a really obsessive file structure system when it comes to novels. So if a book does not fall into that, then we got some major problems. Um, kind of excited for this though. I really like the character. I don't really know how I can. That's kind of going to be weird. Normally, I write my books by day. So, like the last book I worked on, there's going to be many chapters, but when I'm writing, I do day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, and so that book takes place over 6 days total. The book before that takes place over 8 days. The book before that, no, I did that by chapter, which doesn't make sense for me. My reasoning for doing this is I don't write long, uh, chronologically long books. Um, it's something I picked up from the wonderful Dan Brown, and I've always stuck with it. It helps keep my novels a little more concise, and it helps them from not running off on side quests. Okay, I'm gonna mute. I'm gonna go hop on a sprint so you get to watch my game face. It's exciting, I know. We'll see if this story has a decent pilot or if it gets canceled by the end of chapter 1. Okay. 401 words. Um, so what I'm doing right now is I've already written entries for the Diary of Madison Walker, and I'm like 20 chapters into the story. And however, I wrote them in first person, and I really don't want the story to be in first person. I'm losing some storytelling that I need because it takes place hundreds of years in the future, and I don't think I'm getting the right amount of world building from a first person point of view. So I need to rewrite it. Now, that sounds daunting, but the nice thing is I already have a roadmap for it. So I kind of know where I'm going. Oh, and it looks like Jillybean is doing another sprint in a few minutes. Hello, Grit and Guts. Interesting. I can work with that. So yeah, this story takes place at the moment 200 years after my first novel. It might actually have to go further into the future. And the big thing that's happened is a computer virus wiped out all of the data storage about 100 years earlier. And what this does is it allows me to do some rewriting of history, and allows a certain distance from my earlier novels. So it's going to be not apocalyptic, but it's going to be a little bit more dystopian, a different style of dystopian than my earlier book, and it will be a lot more sci-fi, which the entries that I've written so far are lightly sci-fi, but this needs to do a lot more world building. So, but I really like the two main characters, Madison Walker, who is just a college student trying to write a thesis, and her, I guess, sidekick, Lilith, who is as badass as Madison is not. So it's kind of I didn't think about it, but it might almost be like a buddy drama at this point. Let's shut that off. I'm sure I'm going to get dinged for copyright material now. Oops. So Grit and Guts is working on a zombie apocalypse graphic novel. Can I just tell you that I don't believe that there will ever be too many post-apoc zombie stories. I can read them all day. I watch them, comic books, it doesn't matter the media. I love everything to do with post-apoc, and even more so with zombies. So much so, because I'm going to do a product placement, I wrote my own. Mine is not serious though. Mine is very, very Scooby-Doo meets zombie apoc. But I definitely, it's a genre that I don't think will ever end. One of my friends just released like his 15th book in the genre and doing quite well with it. So I definitely think that is stuff under my desk. Actually, so my, okay, so Grit is talking about the many pitfalls in the genre. And can I just say that the zombie genre has so many weird, like, unsaid rules. One of my favorite is um, zombies. No one in the universe knows that zombies exist. I just reread The Walking Dead, the first volume, and I was amazed that it only gets mentioned once. Glenn refers to the walkers as zombies, and I was like, finally, someone knows the term zombie. Um, in my books, uh, I have slow zombies, I have fast zombies. Basically, it when they first become zombies, they still have the same musculature when they were alive. So why would it be any different? So my runners are all from the track team, and my really strong zombies are football players. Um, but yeah, like I really liked World War Z for the not the movie, not the movie, the book, because I really liked the chapter or the short story that was about them moving up into Canada and how zombies freeze. Because if they if it would kill or freeze a human, it's going to do the same to a zombie. Like the Sahara would be a good place. Zombies would just melt away eventually. So I like when people acknowledge that there's still some science involved, I guess. Um, yeah. Okay, Grit. We're on the same page here. Zombies have to live by some of the rules of when they were alive. Um, trying to think if there were any others. Oh, so in my book, there's an advanced placement history class that all become zombies, and to defeat the zombies in the class, he threatens them with a pop quiz. But because they're all like the nerds that really love schoolwork, they all behave until he cuts himself, and then they try to eat him. Um, so I allow a little bit of personality to come through in the first hours of undeadness, and then after that, they just become complete zombies. Miranda is yelling at me because I am not writing. Shocker. Let me put up a new banner. All right, Grit. Hop into it with me. 20 minutes. Get some writing done. You too, Miranda. Don't act like your day job is actually doing anything right now. Yeah, I'm kind of brain fried at the moment. This is already working out better than I thought. Definitely getting more world in here, though I can already see how the first edit for this is going to go, with really emphasizing the this new reality. It's not bad, just stuff to pay attention to. So let's see. Going to do a writer bot thing. I'm a little bit all over the place today. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to bow out early today. It's really nice outside, and I would like to get some sun for the first time in a while. All right, so we'll be back. Oh God, what is tomorrow? Today is Wednesday. So we'll be back tomorrow. We're going to be back tomorrow evening. We're going to do a sip and sprint in the evening. So if you're interested, pick your favorite booze. I'm going to break out. I'm very excited for this. My flask from Scotland. I know. I'm classy like that. So that's going to be tomorrow night at 6. If you're watching on the YouTube channel, definitely hit subscribe on the YouTube channel and hang out with us and do sprints. Well, you know, writing sprints, edit sprints, drawing sprints. Grit, when you're ready, definitely shoot me a message. I'm very curious to see your project. But yeah, thanks for coming along, guys. And I just set a word goal that means I'm going to be doing a lot more writing. Oh, actually, it looks like Franklin decides to show up.
I finally broke away for like, I was like, I need to do my lunch break. Come on, everybody.
Grit and Guts, 6 p.m. Eastern time. I'm in the Boston area, so just everything happens on EST.
Yeah.
I can't imagine the world not on Eastern time for some reason. Have you been writing today, or have you just been working?
I got done like 600 words, like around 9 o'clock ish, and then all of a sudden everyone was like, "Hey, let's do all these things," and I'm like, "Oh, okay."
So I started a new story, and I am taking my serial, which is in first person, and rewriting it in third person. So I already have a roadmap. I mean, it is what it is at the moment. It's first chapter, so.
Yeah.
Um,
First chapter is where you try whatever you want, and it's not a big commitment because you're not rewriting like 40,000 words. I actually have been doing for the past couple days dictation on my phone as I walk around the neighborhood.
how's that been going for you?
Not too bad. I feel like I'm not good at dictation when I'm just sitting somewhere, but if I'm up and moving around, it comes a lot easier because I'm not paying so much attention to what my voice is doing. So I got done a little bit.
Are you running it through dictation software, or are you just having the computer do it?
I record it as a voice memo, and then I found an app where you can just drag and drop your audio file, and it will like figure it out for you afterwards.
What's the accuracy at?
I would say like between 85 and 90%.
Oh, okay.
Which is not too bad. Like I could tell some spots where I must have like slurred my words together, or somebody drove by me really fast because I'm like, that sounds sort of like what, and I stop and I'm like, wait, what was I trying to say? Oh, that's
You
like,
kind of have to sound it out.
Yeah, it broke one whole word into 3 separate words, and I'm like, those sound sort of the same, but that's not what I meant, computer.
Hi, Alley Cat. Welcome.
Welcome to live.
I think someone just.
Is there a sprint happening?
Yeah, I'm in the wrong chat.
110. That means I better open my document.
That's kind of how I walked into my first one. I'm like, what am I doing?
Oh boy. Trying to get better at like pre-visualizing what I'm going to do so I don't get stuck so much.
Hi, Ian. I'm just reading your message. So Ian is actually 73,000 to his first superhero novel. Yay, more superheroes. Political thriller. Bravo on that. I think thriller is hard to do, and political thriller, don't get me wrong, like I know those people who love that. I would find that so complicated to write. Maybe because my political knowledge is not where it should be. I'm trying to find, when does the sprint start? Oh, wait, it already started.
Probably started. I was like, oh boy.
Okay. I'm just typoing everything.
Document up, running, Dropbox working. Here we go.
Man, I think my fingers got fatter. That must be what's going on here. Like, I can't write like a sentence without like just massive amount of typos. Like, please just read into what I'm saying, because I can't manage.
I started wanting to make a little document of the worst typos while I'm sprinting and being like, well, that's really not the same thing as what I meant.
So, I was trying to talk about the gauge of a wire in something, and so I wrote gouage, and I was like, no. And then I wrote gauge, and I was like, also doesn't look right. I was like, can I figure this out without spell check? Nope. All right, for those who are new, because we got a bunch of people in here. So what we do is we're obviously, as always, talking into the sprint because that's kind of what we do. But we'll keep putting up the sprint times, and those are, we go mute and we basically bang out words. So you are more than welcome to join us. I know Grits and Guts is currently drawing at the moment, so he's doing drawing sprints.
Oh, nice.
So Ian, feel free to come along, and same for you, Alley Cat. Yay, so many people writing and making worlds. Okay, I'm gonna mute so I can listen to some music.
Same here.
I am now trying to use the bot goals
Oh, yeah.
as extra guilt.
At least
Of
you put it
course,
at like a manageable size.
yeah, I figured 1,500 words, and unfortunately, I made the goal after I started, so it's like, oh, those 700 words don't count. Um, but I think I figured out the start of the story. Um,
Nice.
I was about to try and do too much background info that just boring.
Hmm. I read a bunch of writing prompts last night where I was like, I might steal some of these. There's like some pretty good Reddit threads where it's like writing prompt of the day, and I'm like, I don't know where you people come up with these, but some of them are great.
And some of them are really like far out there.
Yeah, there was one hilarious one that I read yesterday where it was like, uh, at this big company, they put out a vote where they ask if high heels should be mandatory. 75% of the men say yes, 35% of the women say yes. So they say, okay, the dress code starts tomorrow, and they direct all the men to go pick out their size shoes. I was like, oh. It's like that one would be hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I'd manage in heels at work.
Like, can you please take this over to the copier for me? Uh.
Yeah, I mean, I might as well just crawl at that point.
Well, it's like that would be a great sci-fi short story right there.
Um, well, I was watching a show where they do it was like a cancer fundraiser, and the men wear heels and they have to do like a mile in heels,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so funny because there's like drag queens and everything in there as well, and those drag queens, like, boom, they're gone, and
Yeah.
you can tell like all the first time heel wearers are like just trying to stand upright.
Yeah, because it redoes the whole way that your foot works. It's like, oh, like you can't just you can't step forward the way that you usually do.
um I have boots that have a really tall heel on them, and the boot is so firm that like it's not like you're walking heel toe, like you have to walk all boot, and even that, when you start walking, you're like your whole body jerks around as you're going.
Yeah. Ugh.
I I would just be barefoot all the time if I could. I wear flip flops year round.
Oh boy, I'm so excited that it's finally like flip flop time.
Um, definitely, definitely excited about that. All right, I think there's a sprint at 140, and I think this is going to be my last one.
Yeah, I can do till like roughly like one, oh not one, 205 ish, probably. Nobody will physically walk in on me this time, but
That was kind of funny.
I've already had somebody try to video chat me and it like popped up and I'm like, no, I'm setting my thing to away for an hour for lunch.
It's funny because from noon to uh, noon to 1, I'm actually on the clock, so I just have to pay attention to emails.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah, today was such a weird like noontime where I was like troubleshooting so many weird things for my job where it's like, oh, like stuff is just not working. Like we must have had like a power surge overnight because everything was off. And I'm like, what? Nobody can connect in. What is going on? So we had to restart everything and be like, okay, what's the damage?
Yeah, for me, it's just a lot of, I'll get an email like, hey, can you just give us a status update about this student? Or, which, thankfully, all the status updates I'm giving today have been the student's doing wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're like, hello. Zombies, superheroes, and calm people.
I don't know if I would call
I
myself.
did write a zombie. One of my first things that I really tried to seriously write was I wrote a zombie choose your own adventure, and it's still up. And I had my coworkers read it as a test because none of them, and I didn't know how many of them would be like, "Oh, choose your own adventure," yeah, because some of them are pretty nerdy. But it was so hilarious because I did put like tricks in it. Like I looked up how to design a choose your own adventure book, and it was like, oh, here's a way to trap them in a never-ending loop. And some of them were like, there's a big mistake, there's never-ending loop. And I was like, that is intentional, and you fell into it.
So did you do the Black Mirror Boulder Snatch?
I tried it. I kind of like the setup.
So we wound up doing it and we broke it. We got into an ever-ending loop that you couldn't escape from. And I was like, is this intentional? Or so then we had to like go like 4 decisions back to dodge the loop. And we got stuck in another loop. And I was like, was this badly made, or are we just horrible decision makers?
I don't know if it's because the one that I wrote, it was you get lost in a maze and it just keeps looping you around. So I don't. It's so weird because they also did they just did the Kimmy Schmidt.
I just saw that yesterday.
And I had friends that were like, "Yep, I got to a thing where they all just die." I'm like, "What in Kimmy Schmidt?"
I can kind of see that in Kimmy Schmidt.
So yeah, so you have to choose carefully.
I like when I get to send emails to my coworkers that have good things in them and not just, I have this horrible request that no one's going to want to do.
Oh.
Grits and Guts. That actually reminds me, if you are a video game person, one of my favorite video games was Infamous. Because you play the whole thing as, I can't remember the dude's name, Cole, I think. And of course, the first time you go decide, do all the good things, and he winds up being the hero and all that. And I was like, okay, now we're gonna do this a second time. And basically murdered everybody in the game. You're like, oh, look, an innocent victim. And like the cops are constantly after you because you're a horrible human being. And this is when I realized that if I had superpowers, things probably wouldn't go according to plan.
Yep. Oh boy. It's like playing that old Fable game where it's like you can choose to be a bad guy, and it's like it tries to knock you out of it at first, but you just go with it, and it's like and it just gives up and is like, okay, you're a bad guy.
The first time it's like, are you sure? Are you really sure? And then by the end they're just like, just kill them. Just do it.
Yeah, just go ahead.
Did the sprint start? I don't know if the bot seems to be super fuzzy lately.
No. It entered, so we could just start, I guess.
Okay. Yay, we're gonna start a sprint.
here we go.
All right, everyone. 20 minutes of sprinting. It's on. I love how the bot comes back just in time for word counts.
Yeah.
It
It's
knows.
like, oh, you missed the 2-minute mark.
Ooh, I'm 41% done with my daily word goal.
Nice.
I think I have an idea how the story is going to start now. I keep slipping into first person though while I'm writing it because it was originally first person.
Yeah, it's really tricky to like not do it.
But I think it'll allow for more world building and less inner angst, I guess.
Yeah. Because you pretty much have to have a character explain stuff to you if it's first person or react to it somehow.
And I think that this will give me the ability to have glimpses into other characters when I need to. So I think it'll work. But I'm going to go print out my book 1 for the new trilogy so I can start editing.
Yeah, get out that red pen. Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of red.
Yeah, I recently went through my files and burned a bunch of old edit drafts. I'm like, why am I holding on to this? I'm getting
this is the one that I just did. So otherwise, I think I'd keep them until I get the next batch or the new story, and then I throw out the old one and start anew.
Yep, it's like a good ritual.
Alley Cat, keep going with it.
Yes.
I need to get my editing game on. So for anyone listening, we will be back tomorrow, but tomorrow is Thursday, which means we will be here at 6 p.m. Eastern Time for Cocktails and Writing, where I get kind of drunk and write.
Yeah.
While I was cleaning my house, I found my straight from Scotland. So
it's like, how much is that?
I'm gonna put vodka, but
so good.
Might as well be a lush. It's all for fun. All right, I will chat with you later. Good luck, everyone. Keep writing, and we on Friday we'll be back to normal time, and we'll be here for like noon to 2. So definitely keep joining us. Hit subscribe, and you'll get the notification when we go live. So take care, everyone.
See ya.